Joining us now, great to welcome to the Book Talk segment of the show, man who has written another book. The first one was such a great bestseller on business. This one is called Move Your Bus, an extraordinary new approach to accelerating success in work and life. The previous book was called The Essential 55. We're joined today by Ron Clark on the telephone. And Ron, good to talk with you. How are you today?
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, good to have a chance to chat with you for a few minutes. First of all, congratulations on the previous book, which did so well. I guess you always want something to do well, but did that kind of exceed even your expectations?
It was a little crazy. I was teaching in New York City, and I was named the American Teacher of the Year, and I got to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And she suggested that I write a book, and so, when Oprah tells you to write a book, you do. And the book was basically called The Essential 55, and it was about the 55 expectations I have for my students. My grandmother raised me, and I wanted to teach my students the manners, the respect that she taught me. So it's kind of 55 things that we all should teach every child. When the book came out, Oprah profiled the book on her show, and man, it got so crazy. I mean, the book was number 2 in the nation for 4 months, and it was right behind Harry Potter, and it was wild, and all the money from the book went into a foundation to start a dream. And what we did with the money is that the dream was a school. We built a school in Atlanta. It's unlike any school in the world. We went around the country. We got the best educators we could find, put them all in the same building, and everyone is told to teach with passion, to be different, to be innovative. And so it's really a magical place. What makes it even more special is that every Friday we open our doors. We let the world come visit. Educators from all over the country, hundreds of them come every Friday. They go through our school, they sit in our classes, and they watch to see how we educate our kids. Then they take our ideas back to their own classrooms. So we really created a revolution here in Atlanta, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's great to hear, because you hear so much about how the school system is in many cases in trouble, or the whole profession of teaching. So I'm glad you wrote the book and kind of shot some injection of life into the industry, because it could use it. Well, let's talk about this one. This one is a little bit more business oriented, although I guess it takes a lot of the same principles from the previous book. But talk a little bit about the topic of Move Your Bus.
Yeah, it's how we run our. People come from all over the world, not only educators, but corporations, businesses, to see our model in person, because it's really a successful one. Basically, we picture our school like it's a bus, and you could picture your radio station or corporation organization like it's a bus as well. The bus represents all your goals, everything that you want to achieve, and the bus has no gas. So we all have to put holes in the floorboard, we have to stick our feet down, and we have to move the bus ourselves. And what we found is that in every organization you have some runners, and these runners are really trying to push the bus. They work hard, they come to work early, they don't complain. They really want to be part of something special. Then you have some joggers, and they're kind of not really running, but they do okay. They do their job, but they may not be the best at it. And then you've got some walkers who are kind of being pulled by the bus, and they complain, and they want everyone to go slower, because when everyone goes faster, it pushes them to have to move at a speed they don't like. But then we've got some riders, and the riders have just given up, they're dead weight, and they basically just sit on the bus, and they cause the rest of us to move faster. So what happens is that the book is about how to move our bus when you're dealing with all these different types of personalities, and how to get everybody to go faster, and how to deal with the people who really don't want to.
Yeah, the first two every company needs. You always need people to lead the way, and you need the people to do the work, the joggers. It's the last two that's the problem, right?
Exactly.
How do you, and I know every place anybody works, you see people, like you mentioned, the riders and the walkers, and they pretty much stand out, because they show themselves by not doing what they're supposed to do. How do you handle that if you're a boss?
Yeah, I used to make a mistake. I used to look at my riders and walkers, and I used to say, that's the problem in our organization. I got to fix it. And so I would put all my time and energy on getting those riders and walkers to improve. And finally, I realized, you know what? I don't want to spend my life getting riders to do a little bit better, because riders are never going to run, they're never going to jog, they may be a little bit better, but I didn't want to be on my tombstone to say he got riders to walk. I wanted to create a bigger change. I wanted to have more of an impact. So I decided to switch everything up, and what I started doing was putting all my energy on my runners. They were already doing a great job, but I started to inspire them, to get them extra resources, to find out materials they wanted, extra professional development. I would ask them to tell me the things they were working on, and then I would say, you know what, I'm going to get someone to do this part for you. This is a waste of your time. I'm going to get help for you with this. And I really just started validating them. If they had ideas, I said, let's give it a shot. And when my runners felt validated and they felt like they were heard and they had a voice, they started to work harder, they were running even faster, and this energy created in the building. But oftentimes we don't do that. We ignore our runners because they're doing a good job. What I did was I really fueled them. And what happened to the riders and walkers, some of them even got swept up in it because they realized there was a growing disparity between how hard they were working and how hard the runners were working, so they improved too. And so that is our model here at the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, and that is what people come here to watch, to learn from, and take back to their organizations.
Yeah, I think you make a good point in the book by, the runners do so many things, but sometimes they may feel they're not appreciated as much. So you say let them enjoy that a little bit. Don't not to say you have to be blowing your own horn, but let them enjoy their success, right?
Yeah, the problem is if a runner realizes that he or she's going to be treated the same no matter how hard they work, he or she, they won't work as hard. When you look at, say, for example, education, you get paid the same amount no matter how many years you stayed in the profession. You could be a 20-year teacher sitting on her butt all day, or a 20-year teacher working her heart out all day. You get paid the same amount. It's equal. And so I tell my staff, I'm going to treat all of you fairly, but not equally. If you're the teacher working with technology and we get new classroom sets of computers, you're going to be the one to get the class set of computers. If you're working the hardest and going above and beyond and we get money for a teacher conference, you're going to be the one that we send to the teacher conference. One time I sent 5 teachers to a conference, and a teacher who's a walker came up to me and said, I see you're looking after your favorites again. Excuse me? She said, no, it's fine. I realized that I didn't even know I had an opportunity to go to that conference. I said, you didn't. I don't understand what you're talking about. And she said that she thought everyone should have the same opportunity to go to the conference. And that's kind of the entitled type of feel that we have in America. People feel entitled to things. They feel like they deserve things, and it's part of how we're raising our children. We have a coddled, dumbed-down education system in our country right now. Parents are more concerned with the self-esteem of their child than has my child really been taught to have a work ethic. This nation was built by people who had a work ethic, and now we're teaching our kids just to expect things and to get things without working for it. I'm a history teacher, and when you look back all over throughout history, whenever you see civilizations that rise to supremacy and then fall, they have one thing in common. It doesn't deal with the military decline or the economy. It deals with the fact that the brain trust, the children of the society are coddled, their education system is made to be dumbed down, and they're given too much without having to work for it. So other nations, where other nations are having to work harder, they begin to rise. And right now we are 27th in the world in terms of education in the world. America is. And so where will we be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, as long as we continue to coddle children? Everybody on the Little League team these days gets a trophy. If you're doing a birthday party for one child, even though it's not even your other kid's birthday, you buy that other child a birthday present so they don't feel bad. It's really bad. We tell our kids how gifted and special they are, and it's causing to have an inflated sense of self-worth. These kids end up thinking, oh, I'm gifted, I'm special. What you should do instead is to praise the actions of the child. Don't just say, oh, you're gifted, you're special. You want to say, the way you just handled that situation, that was really smart. Or how you cleaned your room today was really respectful. And then the kids learn, oh, I get praised for my actions, not because I won the genetic lottery. And so what happens is that I need to work hard. Then you teach a work ethic, and that's one way that you can help ensure that your child will be successful when they're an adult.
Yeah, I think competition is good. You want to make it as fair as possible, but competition is not only good, it's necessary in every aspect of your life. So I agree with you. I've heard stories of what's going on in the schools where that's concerned. Even taking games like dodgeball out. That was one of our favorite things when we were in school, and just because it made kids feel bad. Now you're not doing well in sports. I think that you learn more in that than in anything else. Competition.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The MVP should get the trophy. And when your child says, why didn't I get a trophy? Well, you ain't the MVP.
You didn't earn it.
That's capitalism. We're raising kids in America to live in socialism, but then we want them to reform in capitalism, and it's not working.
Yeah. Well, I know we have limited time, but Move Your Bus is the name of the book, An Extraordinary New Approach to Accelerating Success in Work and Life. We've been talking with Ron Clark today. And Ron, give out your website. People can get more information or get the book.
Sure. If you visit RonClarkAcademy.com, you can get the book there, or you could also visit there if you want to learn how you as an educator could visit the school and spend a day with us to watch the best teachers in the world in action.
Great, Ron. Pleasure talking to you. Keep up the great work with the whole education thing, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
If you'd like to order the book we're talking about, please go to DougMilesMedia.com and enter the author's name in the Amazon search box. Thank you for listening. Please come back soon for more conversations here at DougMilesMedia.com. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media. All rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or DougMilesMedia.